Okay. Okay. You're not still looking for a pen. Thank you. Okay. Is anybody watching? Oh, we got 5 people. We got 6 people. Hello, everybody. So the reason I'm in a different environment is because one of my friends is sick, so I was visiting to deliver some soup. I forgot the whiteboard for like drawing stuff, but I do have some random scrap paper that was going to get recycled anyway, and some markers. Hello, Jason. Thank you so much. Yeah, seriously, last night was pretty incredible. So everyone who attended and everyone who's already, I mean, you're all patrons, so thank you for your support. We were all doing the commentary just an hour ago on the latest episode. I think Robby calculated that like the damage could total 3,000-ish, like, but I don't know. I don't know if that's like an accurate number. But anyway, the point being that we were pretty amazed that we raised that much money and super thankful. So yeah. Also, it was just like, it was really fun to just do that and actually put on like a fun little show, variety show thing. So hello, South. How's it going? But yeah, I think with any luck, we delayed our next episode, like our next filming trip by a week, but we should still be on track for another episode coming out next month. And then after that, yeah, it's just a matter of trying to figure everything out. So Red River Gorge, I think we had a number that was like 1639, I believe. It's a little lower than that because the super chats take some portion of the donations. But yeah, so it's somewhere around there. It was like way more than we expected we were gonna get. We only thought like we thought 1,000 was just a super lofty goal. So super humbling to see everybody actually come out and help us. Jason says, really like the whiteboard drawing you did. Saw it on Thomas's Instagram. Oh yeah. Yeah, we were thinking it might be fun to like create a print of that or something. I don't know, maybe give it away as a prize or something like that. I don't know if anybody would actually want that, but Esther says, hi, Andrew and everyone. Jason, South Red River. Hello, Jim Bowling. Hello. Jason, hello. Esther, hello. Scott, hello. Scott, yeah, no, I mean, the fact that you're supporting us on here at all is a huge help. Like, I don't know if Bryan I think he talked about this on something one time, but like, even a $2 donor is still helping us way more than, like, I mean, obviously we are super thankful for anyone who watches our videos, but the YouTube ad revenue is really not that much. Esther, you were asking about Thomas. Do you mean on the whiteboard, or I forget what I was just talking about? Jim says, I missed the telethon, but I did upgrade my Patreon to 10. Thank you so much. And yeah, I don't know if you saw in the post earlier this morning, or that might have been last night, but there's a little mock-up of what the patch is going to look like, Jim. And also, if you do want to rewatch it, the telethon is posted on the Patreon page. Oh, Esther, no, Thomas isn't here. Aaron, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, again, like we were kind of blown away and speechless with like how well that turned out. So thank you everybody who attended. Even if you didn't attend, thank you. Um, and yeah, like it's so funny because we had always sort of jokingly talked about how cool it would be to like eventually do like live shows where we travel around and like I mean without really knowing what exactly we would do, but that was kind of what that was. So is your goal for the show to be a full-time career or is it a personal hobby and true love? It's I think both. Like it's definitely a personal hobby. It started out as a hobby. Now Robby and I are currently taking some time to work on it full time to see if we can get it anywhere where we can focus all our time and attention on that. It is definitely a love though. It's like if we were, I mean, so we post the Patreon trailers every time an episode comes out, and we always get comments saying that like, oh, all we care about is money. It's, I don't know. It really sucks that we have to like talk about Patreon so much, but we only do because it actually like gets people to click. And again, like we're not getting rich off of this or anything. It's just like we want to be able to fund stuff, and yeah. Unfortunately, it's a reality that we have to use money to like survive. Well, unless we're in the woods, I guess. But Matt C929 says, "Hi, just joined Patreon after the fundraiser last night. It was really enjoyable." Hello, Matt. Thank you for joining. First of all, welcome to the first of many weekly live streams that we have on our page. And yeah, I'm glad you liked it. And thank you again for your support. Jim Bowling says, "Did watch. Very funny how much you did end up receiving. I'm sure you're still getting money." Yeah, we actually still got some new patrons after the stream, I think. So that was really awesome. Aaron, thank you so much. That really does mean a lot to us. Michael says, "Hello, hello, Michael." And Scott, yeah, that's very true. It's like easy to let that bog us. Like I don't know, because I totally get where people are coming from when they're worried about us getting too concerned with money. But I think that we've always been kind of vigilant about making sure we don't just like immediately sell out. Like when someone emails us about trying a product, first of all, we're pretty reluctant to do anything with it. The only reason we would do it is if it's like a genuinely cool thing that we'd like to show. And we, like people are always emailing us to review things, and a lot of times we honestly just don't respond because we don't want to turn into that sort of channel. But sometimes we're like, you know, maybe we'll review it, but we're also going to be completely honest about what we think about it. Jim Bowling says, "It's not about the money. Do not mind donating to you for your awesome videos." Thank you so much. That means a lot to us, for real. Stephen Miller, hello. You're a gangster of love, Steve Miller. Scott Neverdusky says, "I don't think we'd be thinking that unless you were doing commercial spots in your episodes." Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's something that I don't think we would ever do. I mean, yeah. That would just interrupt the whole flow of it. Jason says, "You guys are genuine, and that shows in your content." Thank you so much. Yeah, so we can do this as a normal stream, or we can do something involving drawing stuff, drawing pictures. I've got a limited amount of paper, but I will let you all decide what you want to do. Red River Gorge asks, "Will I be coming back to the Gorge?" Yeah, I think that is definitely a distinct possibility in the future. There's especially a lot of places that we want to visit that we still haven't been to, like Cloud Splitter. I don't know that you can actually backpack to that point, but it'd still be really cool to show off. Yeah, so short answer, yeah. I think we'll come back to the Gorge. Scott Neverdusky says, "You could always do product reviews outside the episodes." Yeah, and that's something we have done once in a while. We have our side videos and we'll do reviews. Actually, there is one thing I do want to review, which is a backpack that I have. It's the one that I used in the Whitney episode. And that's because I actually genuinely really like that pack. Oh, you can? Okay, awesome. It's a short trail and you can backpack there. That's good to know. Jackie Burson says, "Hi, Andrew. I posted a picture of a purple mushroom on the Patreon community page. Check it out when you get a chance. Wondering what it is. Never seen one." That's awesome. There are definitely a handful of purple mushrooms, and they're all really cool. I'm not going to promise I can ID it right on the spot, but I know there's a few that I've seen before. But yeah, I will check that out. Saw a couple toadstools too. Has it been raining a lot where you are, Jackie? Because it's been raining a lot here. And I think that's why I'm seeing a lot of mushrooms around here. Stephen Miller says, we just finished our 4-day paddling event, Rockadock 131. People attended to a great paddling event. Sorry, we missed last night's presentation. No problem. Again, if you want to catch the telethon stream thing, we did post it on Patreon, so you can watch through it at your leisure. The paddling event sounds fun, though. What's that involve? DJ Lone Star says, howdy, Andrew, Charles, and Julie. Last video was great. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And again, like, to everybody on here, old and new, thank you for your support. Red River Gorge says, also do Indian Staircase. It's right next to Cloud Splitter. Great camping up there. Awesome. Jim says, have you thought about letting your viewers decide between 2 or 3 different places to go? Jim, actually, yes, that is. So the next place we are going is actually going to be the result of a poll that we had like way back in February, I think. So that is actually one of the rewards for being a patron is you get to vote on different places. The only thing is that we haven't done those often enough. I do want to get to a point where we can like regularly have episodes that people vote on, and then the very next month we go on it. I think a big reason it's taken us so long to do this one is because we did the whole road trip thing, and then we were editing that all summer. So Scott Neverdusky says, rain. We've had 8 inches. Oh, wow. The hurricane ruined your hike. Ooh. Wait, where is Mount LeConte? Is that pretty close? Is that in? That's not in the Carolinas, is it? Jackie says, tons of rain, so many mushrooms and fungi. It's hiking today. White, yellow, orange, purple. Yeah, it's so cool seeing all the different colors. Looking for mushrooms is like an adult Easter egg hunt because you just find these colorful little round objects hiding in the leaves and stuff. Ash G says, any other international trip ideas like New Zealand? So we really wanted to go to Iceland this past summer, but Brian got a new job and he wasn't able to take time off. But I think that is something we are really wanting to do next summer. New Zealand is definitely on the top of destinations we would love to go to someday. We actually know somebody who lives there, so that's kind of possible. We'd love to return to Japan someday. Yeah, there's a lot of places we'd love to go. I think Iceland is definitely at the top of the list, and New Zealand might be close too. Steve Miller says, we had 131 people. Oh, wow. It was at Florida Cavern State Park. The chat disappeared. Oh, there we go. Oh, the Smokies. That makes sense. Yeah, the Smokies are already a rainforest. I imagine with the hurricane, that must be super wet. Jim Bowling says, yeah, the road trip was cool to see, but really missed your camping trips. Yeah, I was really curious how the general like subscriber audience of our channel felt about those, because we did get a lot of positive feedback, but I also got the sense that people were itching for the classic stuff again. And that's why we started this most recent episode, just like right in the middle of the wilderness. DJ Lone Star says, thank you, Andrew, for your expertise on plant life and all things edible. Makes your cast stand out from all the rest who post videos. Thank you. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, that's something I need to brush up on again. I was actually at a wedding this past weekend, and they had this sort of like camping thing at a cabin afterwards. And it was really fun to like find mushrooms and actually pull out the guidebook and identify it. So I really need to do that more. And now's the perfect time. So Matt says, I've heard you can go to the bottom of a volcano in Iceland, but only for 10 minutes. Whoa. Well, that'd be bad. We'd have to like film with GoPros or something, because Lord knows that we take way too long filming like the tiniest stretches of hiking. Jim Bowling says, invite Nicole on your next trip. Chef Nicole. Yeah. It'd be good to have her return. I also have a few friends I'd like to get on some episodes in the future. Jess is one of them. He supports the channel too, but he's a childhood friend of mine. And then I've got a friend, Jason, and a couple other friends that would be fun. It is good to switch up the trips once in a while, like the Japan trip. Humans crave diversity. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's tough because like it's so easy to go places that are close by. That's what's nice about Michigan, though, is it's decent driving distance, but it's still pretty different. But yeah. Northwest Florida, we paddled the Chipola River, Cypress Springs. Okay. We actually might go to Florida in December sometime. I'm not exactly sure where yet. But DR says, I recently watched your Colorado video. I live in Colorado, so recognize most of the places in the video. Would you ever consider going back? Yes. So that video was for the Find Your Park expedition, which you probably know now. But I would love to go back and do an actual like backpacking episode. I think my dream trip in Colorado would be hiking somewhere where there's a lot of those quaking aspens right when they're turning yellow, which is probably like this time of, well, yeah, it is probably this time of year. So it's probably too late for that. But I would also love to like hike and find a natural hot spring, because I've heard they have a few of those in Colorado. So that would just be so cool. Jason says the road trip was a nice change, but it isn't like that is all that you will do from now on, road trips. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we kind of made it a point to make sure people knew the road trips were a distinct special set of episodes. Scott says, I just ordered a GoPro if you need to borrow it. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Insurance is good. We talked about this on the commentary we just filmed, which will be up, I think, sometime next month. But the reason we didn't insurance our equipment is because usually the sort of repairs we were doing, it was just more cost effective to do the repairs. But we didn't really anticipate such a disaster happening. Thomas didn't go with us to Japan, I think just because he was busy with work. And well, I think it was also because it was kind of close to the holidays and he had plans with his family. But he's definitely expressed interest in going if we get to go again. Yeah, Northern Michigan, it's a beautiful place. Like, Ohioans love to bash Michigan because of all the sports rivalries, but Michigan is such an amazing state. Steven says, we paddled rivers, crystal clear springs, and calm mill ponds. Awesome. Yeah, well, Steven, you'll have to give us some suggestions when we go to Florida, because that's definitely a place we've been wanting to do. I don't want to do Florida in the summer, though. DR says, fall colors are going on right now in Colorado. Awesome. Yeah, Colorado. They're beautiful now. Just saw some pics this week. Scott says, I highly recommend Ice Lakes in San Juan Mountains, Colorado. We did that one 2 years ago along with your sand dunes. Oh, cool. Thank you for the suggestions, by the way. Nothing happening in Kentucky yet. Yeah, Kentucky must still be in, like, even up here in Ohio, and I was in more northern Ohio the other day, but it's still pretty much green with, like, slight tinges of yellow. The Karen says, hi, Andrew. Just watched Manistee. Do you know the name of the canoe rental place you use? Yes, it is Pine River Outfitters. So let me double check. So Pine River Paddle Sports is what they go by now, but I will post the link. And actually, that is important to know because from what my brother said, because he planned the trip, that's like one of the few places that will actually be willing to drop off canoes so that you can hike up and then paddle back down. Just bring waterproof bags. Everyone knows U of M is better than OSU. So the thing is, I feel like OSU wins all the time, but I actually think that makes the whole OSU obsession with football a little more like it just feels like if our team is winning all the time, like, why do we care so much about a rivalry? I don't know. But also, I don't really care as much about football as like everybody else in Columbus. But Scott Neverdusky says everyone knows UT Tennessee sucks. Oh wait, I'm from there. Whoops. Yeah, that's like the Cleveland Browns. Everyone who's a fan of them knows that they're bad, but they persevere. The Karen says, many thanks. A hike and a paddle is in the works. Awesome. Yeah, let me know how that goes, and please be careful out there. Bring those waterproof sacks. DR says, last night Thomas said he was the nosy neighbor when you guys were kids. Is that true? I don't think so. I mean, he was probably no more nosy than any other kid. I feel like Thomas is self-deprecating a lot, but although probably part of that is because we used to make fun of him too much. Jim Bowling says, it sucked that your brother felt like he was responsible for losing the equipment. Yeah. Well, it's funny because even before that happened, he felt guilty about planning the trip because it was just raining so much. But all of us were like, no, the trip has been great. On a level, yeah, it kind of sucks to get caught in that thunderstorm on that last night, but it was also kind of fun. But I mean, like, it's so easy to point fingers, but it's really nobody's fault that happened. It's just like a stroke of bad luck. Aaron Jones says, who's the soccer fan? I don't know. Are any of us soccer fans? I mean, I'll watch soccer. I don't think any of us are like super hardcore soccer fans. I will say Robby used to watch basketball a lot. Scott Neverdusky says, is there a rain forecast? That will actually cancel a trip for? You know, after this last trip, if it says like there's going to be rain all day, then yeah, we might. I think like even with this trip, it seemed like there was a bit of hope for the rain to let up, but yeah, I think we would just cancel if it was like raining the entire time, because mostly just because like it's hard to film in that, like hard to film and make it look good, you know. Yeah, Mother Nature is cruel sometimes. That's just part of the game, or whatever. Daryl Anderson says, "Hey Andrew, telethon was a big success. Congrats! Thank you so much. Thank you also for watching the telethon, and again, thank you everybody who's here for your support." And like, I sound like a broken record when I say that, but I do actually like genuinely, I am genuinely thankful. It's just hard to like convey that through a webcam. But like seriously, we're super happy that we can get this sort of support after a disaster like this happened. And you know, in a way, it almost feels like, I don't know. It's nice that we were able to take this unfortunate event and turn it into something fun. Scott says, we faced that this weekend. Forecast said rain all weekend, so we rescheduled. It was going to be Cumberland Gap. Oh, okay, yeah. You were saying that. That actually might be where we're going, not this coming weekend, but the next weekend. Or it's Cumberland National Historic Park, but I don't know if those are the same. I should know that. But no, it is. Yeah, it is the same. Have you guys thought of doing a meetup camping trip? Yeah, actually. When we first did our Columbus meetup, which was back in June, I think, or maybe that was July, Bryan suggested the idea of doing a camping thing. The reason we didn't is because it's just like logistically, it's hard to do something like that on such short notice, especially. We're still trying to figure out how we would do that. Like, part of me thinks maybe it would make sense to do it with patrons, because then you're dealing with less people, so it's easier to like reserve campsites. But it would also kind of suck to exclude people, so I don't know. But that is something we'd like to look into. I felt the giving spirit watching everyone else give. Well, thank you, Matt. It did feel like a Christmas carol or something. And thank you, Michael. Jason says it translates on this end, so we're good. Okay, thank you. That's good. That's good to know. Ty Pham says, hello, Andrew. Greetings from VA, Virginia. Any plans to meet up with you guys and Patreon? Yeah, so a meetup is definitely something we want to do again soon. We haven't made any like concrete plans yet, but like twice a year, but it might be more realistic to do once a year. I don't know yet. We'll see. I think I definitely want to make this sort of live stream that we did like a regular thing, not necessarily asking for donations, but just like some sort of live variety show. Ty Pham, is it Pham or Pham? I don't know. But Ty says, you guys are funny. My wife says the same. Thank you. I feel like we're funniest when we're not trying to be, but once a month would be cool. Yeah, that would be. Oh, for the live streams, you mean, South? We might be able to do that. I do want to do more interesting things with these Patreon live streams too. Michael says, when's the next podcast? That's a good question. We have recently been focusing more on filming and editing videos, partly just because we're worried the podcasts are too boring, but I do have a few interesting ideas. Like, one thing I really want to do with the podcast is sit down with my dad and just have him go through pictures he's taken at the park and talk about all the things he's found. Because every time I go to my parents' house to visit them, he'll like drag me to his computer and show me all the pictures and like talk on and on about them. And it's actually super interesting to listen to. And I think you all would really enjoy that. Random humor is the best. South said just streaming openly on the main. Yeah. You know, I think we were considering doing a once a month stream, like public stream. I think we're bad about keeping on top of that, but that's definitely something we'd like to do. Jason says, you guys are an outdoor adventure group with hidden comedic talent. Thank you. Seth says, your dad sounds awesome. I'd be interested. Yeah. I really like your podcast. Very relaxing to drive to. Okay, that's good to know. Like, we always sort of debate about, like, what do people like to watch on our channel? I think there's many answers to that. But, like, Robby's instant gut, like, his gut reaction is that, well, people come to our channel for the adventure videos, so we should focus on those. But I'm like, well, there are people who say they like the plant stuff and all that. And then the podcast, like, to us, we're like, man, we're worried that these are boring, but people have liked and listened to them. So yeah, I'll try to get on that then. Have you guys ever discussed a week-long backpacking trip and do several episodes like a road trip? Oh, that's actually an interesting idea. I know personally, I would really love to take a week-long backpacking trip and, like, just as a personal experience. I think one hiccup with filming it is that with the road trip, we were able to stop at places and recharge batteries and empty SD cards. It'd be a lot harder to manage on a continuous trip. Although, if we did something on the AT, we could stop in to a town and actually do that. So it's not a bad idea. Or maybe we could do like the Buckeye Trail. That's a good idea. I don't know. I don't think we've ever really discussed that, Jim, but I will bring that up next time I'm talking to the others. I'm going to be back in 10 seconds. I'm going to grab something to drink. Okay, I'm back with water. But yeah, I think if we did do a week-long trip, we would love to do the AT Buckeye Trail. Obviously, like PCT and John Muir Trail would be up there too, but where's the beer? That's a good question. There's like a very flat beer that I opened like a month ago in this fridge. Do they have chargers for your batteries that can use as a power? So yeah, we do have like power bricks. Well, actually, yeah, I don't know if those are compatible with the chargers. I'm sure we could find something that would work like that. It would probably add some weight, but yeah, I don't know. We had like the solar charger, but it didn't work very well after about a week. Ty says, any thoughts on Grayson Highlands or the Balds? So I've hiked to some of the Balds in the Smokies. I don't know if that's exactly what you're talking about, but those are amazing. Let me Google. Oh, Grayson Highlands. I've actually never heard of this place, but it looks amazing. It kind of reminds me of Dolly Sod, so I'm definitely going to put that on the list. Thank you for the suggestion. Also, if you all do have suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments of this post, just because it's very possible I'll forget what you've said. Oh, Matt, thank you. DR says, so who was doing all the cursing when Robby and Bryan flipped over? It was like all of us. So it was Robby. Robby actually cursed, and then he cursed again really loudly because he wasn't sure if me and Thomas had seen what had happened. So he's trying to get our attention, but he like didn't really know what else to say in the moment. But I was watching it as it happened, and I just started like cursing because I was just like, I couldn't believe it was actually happening. It seemed like a nightmare. And I mean, like, not so much because the canoe flipped, but because I knew there was all that equipment in there. Like, you know, if it wasn't for that, we have our life jackets. You get wet, but it's really not that big a deal. I flipped in canoes before. Ash G says, why do you think certain episodes like Yosemite and Yellowstone got more viewers than the newer ones? Definitely has to do with name recognition. I think that's the biggest part. Japan has had a lot of views. Thomas thinks it's because there was some like popular viral video that had some similar search terms. I actually think it's just because Japan is a really popular topic on the internet. Ramistat says, planning to revisit any more well-known parks. I feel like those tend to be your more popular videos. So that is something we would like to do. It's the parks, without getting into too much detail, they can be weird about people filming. And personally, I think that 4 guys using a camera and a tripod is a completely different thing than like a big Hollywood production. There are some people at national parks who don't think that way. And I get it, because there are like a lot of people on social media who are doing things like graffitiing rocks or knocking things over and stuff that is not good. But yeah, at the same time, I think we would like to visit more high-profile places. And I mean, worst case scenario, we'll visit a place near the park, you know? That still kind of captures that same essence. Shenandoah, I will say, is something that we want to refilm, though, because I want to do that place justice. Scott Neverdusky says, Wild Ponies. Oh, okay. You know, wait, where? Oh, that's in Virginia, but I feel like I was in the Carolinas as a kid one time and I saw wild horses. Grayson Highland sounds awesome. Matt, I actually have not been to Asheville. I've been to the Smokies in North Carolina, which I guess is, I don't know, does that count as the Blue Ridge Mountains? Actually, you know, I might have been to North Carolina as a kid to some waterfalls, but I just don't remember much about it. But I've heard a lot of good things about Asheville. Michael Morrissey says, I'll be at Whitney in a couple weeks, and I'll have the opportunity to hike up it for 2.5 hours. Yeah, that'll get you close to the lake. You're talking about Lone Pine Lake, I assume, which is like one of the first campsites. It's really pretty. I think that'll be enough time to get up there. Gerald Anderson says, Andrew, I found an interesting large mushroom on a climb a few weeks ago. If I share the photo, yeah, I'll try to identify it for you. You can post it to our Facebook or the community page on Patreon. Yeah, Rocky Mountain National Park, that is absolutely a place I want to go. Again, especially with like the leaves. South, I actually think the big ones are less lenient. Well, I don't know. In my experience, the national forests really don't care. And like, they are very much open to people doing things there. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the big ones are actually less lenient. Jesse Owens State Park just opened here in Ohio. Oh, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, Rocky Mountains. Michael, Isle Royale is definitely a place we want to do. We want to go up there in canoe or kayak or something. Okay, near the coast of North Carolina on small islands. Okay. Maybe it wasn't there, because I don't think maybe it was in Virginia. I don't know. Scott, we've never had anyone directly tell us not to film at a park. This is something we don't like to mention a lot, but we have had people contact us and then we worked out an arrangement, but usually it's fine. Like, I mean, I think most people are reasonable and they understand that we're just people doing this mostly like as a hobby, and we're not some big Hollywood production. But basically, it's just something that we don't want to risk, and also we want to respect the parks, and we don't want to like the parks are not our enemy, basically, you know. Somewhere on the road says, are there any meetups planned in the near future? My friends just moved to Columbus, so now I have more than one reason. Awesome. Nothing is concretely planned, but like I said, I would love to do a meetup sometime at the latest next summer, but hopefully we can do one this winter, because that'd be really fun. Outer Banks, North Carolina. Okay, got it. I wonder if you can camp there. Isle Royale is so much fun. Personally think kayaking is easier. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think you can actually canoe on Superior, but I feel like it might be in the rivers that you can canoe. I don't know. Maybe we can figure something out where we do both. But oh, big as in size. Gotcha. Yeah, well, yeah, the problem. Yeah, I feel like one thing I've read is that a lot of times they'll more go after you if they find you breaking rules in the video. But yeah. Ty says, how about backpacking in Pacific Northwest? Like we hike along the beaches. that's definitely something we want to do. And I know that Robby is actually going to be heading up to the Pacific Northwest around Portland to hike one of the trails. I forget, is it the Ridgeline Trail? But he's going to be there for a while this month. Hopefully produce 2 videos out of that. Hello, William. Thank you for joining us. And thank you again for your support. I saw you donated the other night, so thanks. William, we're just talking about cool places that we could go and just like the filming process, stuff like that. Yeah, Jason, it's funny because we always worry that we're going to run out of places, but there's so many places to visit. The main thing is just like, it's so much easier and cheaper to go someplace within driving distance. But Ty says, downriver canoeing on the Potomac River. Ooh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Speaking of DC, actually, we're wanting to do a trip to Gettysburg eventually. Thomas actually used to do Civil War reenacting, so he has some like Civil War stuff that hopefully I can convince him to let us try. Like, probably don't want to wear the uniform out there or whatever, but like it'd be cool to try some of the hardtack and like some of the equipment, canvas tent even. Mount Hood's Timberline Trail. Yes, that is it. That's Scott. That's it. The DJ Lone Star says, I mentioned this place in an earlier live cast, but I have the correct name. Polar Caves Park. Okay. Let me Google this. That sounds cool already. I remember you saying something about that. Ooh, that is so cool. Yeah, that looks really, really awesome. We do have a video coming out, hopefully tomorrow, about Mount Katahdin that Thomas filmed when he did a road trip to the northeast before he started school. So you can look forward to that, hopefully tomorrow evening. And I say that because those rocks kind of remind me of that. Ash says, have you been recognized in public because of A? You know, more often than you would expect, we have actually. And actually, a lot of times it's when we're on the trail, which is, like, on one hand, it's not that surprising, but on the other hand, there's so few people hiking compared to, like, in a city that it is a little surprising to me how often that happens. I've also been recognized, like, at the store one time, and yeah. It's not, like, all the time, but it's still way more than I would have expected. But I think part of that is also because we've done videos in local places in Ohio, and so there's probably a higher concentration of viewers from that region. Daryl Anderson says, mushroom photo posted. Oh, okay. And Ty says, my wife wants to know if Robby offers dancing lessons. He sure beats John Travolta. So his mom actually has a Zumba studio in Carmel, Indiana. It's called Revel Fitness. I'll type that out. And Robby, I think, is teaching like one class a week now. He used to be more involved with that, but he's focusing more on video work now. Jim says, I liked your Mammoth Cave trip too. That's right down the road from you. Big South Fork. Yes, I feel like I have definitely looked into that before, but I can't. Yeah, I feel like someone recommended this to us at some point, but it looks amazing. It looks like it has a lot of cool rock formations, so I'll definitely add that to our list. We actually, for a long time, we had a big document on like this Facebook page that we have just to manage things with Adventure Archives. And for a long time, we were taking all the comments from YouTube where people suggested places and like putting them in there, linking to their YouTube channel with the intent of like, if we ever went there, we could give them a shout out. But it's just like, it was a lot to keep track of. But again, if you all have suggestions on where to go, I would love to hear it in the comments on our Patreon post. That way we can keep track of that and look at it later on. Big South Forks Honey Creek is a really good one. Okay. And the Twin Arches. That sounds so cool. Yeah, I want to go to Kentucky more often. We haven't been there that often. Like, I think we've only been there a couple times. Land Between the Lakes would be a nice place to go, too. Okay, let me see if I can find this stuff. Oh, cool. Daryl Anderson. Well, so that's definitely an Amanita mushroom. I wonder if it's Amanita muscaria, which is the fly agaric. which is like the classic red polka dot mushroom that you always see people draw. But it could also be not Pantherina. What is it? Not Jacksoni. Barossa? There is another Amanita mushroom that's sort of like that. Muscaria look alike. Sorry, I'm zoning in on this really quick. Oh, Flavoconia. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Or Flavorubescens. I know for sure it is in the Amanita genus. So the white spots on the cap of the mushroom. Here, let me post the link to. I don't know. Oh, that's not going to work. It's in the community tab, but the white spots are from the mushroom comes out of something called like an egg or a vulva, and when it hatches, little white flecks from that stay on the cap, and that's what that is. And then actually someone else posted a mushroom. Oh, Jackie Burson. Okay, that violet one. Oh, what is that? I know. Yeah, Cordinarius. Is that it? No, that can't be it. That's it. It is a purple cord. Okay. Okay, so yeah, Jackie Burson. I think that is Cordinarius. I'll write it on here. Iolaceus. God, mushrooms are so cool. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Twin Arches. Okay, definitely think you guys should consider coming to the Albertan Rockies / Banff area. Oh yeah, was that you who had mentioned that earlier? Because Banff is someplace I've been wanting to go to for a long time. DJ Lone Star Thomas went to Katahdin. Scott Neverdusky says, "Well, I'm biased. Those two are on the Tennessee side." Gotcha. Ash G says, "Are you guys ever going to be launching your own products, shirts, knives, gear?" We really need to sit down and figure out the whole merchandising thing. We definitely want to start launching T-shirts before the end of the year. I'm not making promises on that, but yeah, that's something we definitely want to do. As for knives and gear, probably not anytime soon, but we have talked a lot about, well, one, I've personally thought about how it'd be really cool to design a knife. I feel like I could have some pretty good input on what would make a good knife. We've also actually talked about how it'd be cool to be able to like talk about or design a nice camera for the outdoors, but that's probably not going to happen anytime soon at all. Blue Licks Battlefield State Resort in Kentucky. Awesome. That sounds good. Have you ever done Alaska or even considered? Actually, it's funny, DJ. When we went to Japan in 2016 December, we were actually hoping to go to Alaska to Denali that summer, but we never ended up doing it. But that is definitely something we would love to look into. Jim Bowling says the T-shirt was really nice. How do we get our hands on one of those? So Jim, unfortunately, right now we're only giving one away this month as like part of a giveaway for patrons. But I will definitely that's definitely something we're working on, is a way for people to get T-shirts. So hopefully by the end of this year we can figure something out. And yeah, stickers and stuff like that would be really cool too. It'd also be cool to be able to sell like posters and stuff. Daryl Anderson says the color was really bright and was surprisingly big. Yeah, I've always wanted to find, if that is Amanita muscaria, I'm kind of jealous because I've always wanted to find one of those. It might be a lookalike, but Tashi T. Lama says Acadia National Park. Yeah. We really need to go to the northeast of the U.S. in general. I definitely want to go to the Catskills and the Adirondacks as well. Apparently, I've been to Acadia as a kid, but it was a long time ago. Great thing about Banff is that there are huge tourist areas and then super isolated off-trail random camping areas too. That's awesome. Michael, thank you. So Scott, I think they're not pure cotton. I think they're like a higher blend, but I don't know that they're like the perfect material for hiking. Well, at least the ones we were looking at. We haven't finalized any of this yet. I would really like them to be good shirts to wear hiking. It's just a matter of figuring out the logistics. And I don't know, maybe we'll offer like two, like one that's cheaper and one that's more expensive but better for the outdoors. Jason says, if you go back to Japan, you should look into knife making when they're, oh yeah. Yeah, that'd be really cool. They did a whole podcast episode about Alaska. Awesome. Steven, can I make a suggestion for you? Next time you go paddling, pack your... Yeah, I actually have a really good dry bag. Me and Robby filmed like an afternoon canoe trip that will be up in the next few weeks. And you'll probably see it sitting in the canoe in that one. Honestly, like when we first started canoeing, we were really careful about that. And then I think we just got too confident in ourselves. I mean, yeah, I think that was really it. I mean, also, I think we were not thinking straight either because like it had been a really rough night. We were kind of in a rush to get out of there. And none of us, right, Jim? Egyptian cotton. Like, what's her name in The Incredibles? DJ Lone Star says, magnets, pens, and keychains make great giveaways. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many like interesting ideas we could definitely do. Again, a lot of it is a matter of figuring out the logistics of it. The t-shirts is definitely like the easiest thing we can start with. So hopefully it'll grow from there. Or just knit some sweaters. You seem like the crafty type. Yeah, that's true. Apple, you didn't miss any drawing. We actually haven't done any drawing yet. And yeah, Edna mode, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I do have paper and markers if you guys want to do some drawing stuff. But I think it sounds like we have some new patrons and it's just been fun chatting too. So I am open to anything. I do think we want to start like doing monthly giveaways on Patreon. And it'd be cool to like have interesting prizes for that. That's just something we sort of tossed around as an idea though. Hello, Chris Robinson. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Scott says, if you do Land Between the Lakes again, I recommend the Honker Lake Trail. Okay. The most interesting. What was different about that compared to the other trails? Because I remember the one I was on, it was kind of just a normal trail through the woods. And when Robby first went there, the thing that struck him as really cool about the place was just that it seemed really wild at the time. And like, you could see lots of stars, lots of tall grass. He also got chiggers though, so. Ooh, Apple Kid, checked out your Instagram. Very cool. I'll have to check that out. Brittany Fracker says, draw your favorite mushroom. I will do that. What is my favorite mushroom? I'll draw the mushroom that I really want to find, but I haven't yet. Michael Morrissey says, can't wait to win. The ultimate giveaway would be to invite a patron on one of your trips. Yeah. I really want to find, like, I do think it'd be cool to do a Patreon meetup where we go camping somewhere. Like, backpacking would be harder to organize, but if we could just get a campsite and do some hikes at least, that'd be really cool. Do you have a patch you can show everyone? I saw it on your telephone. So I don't have a physical patch yet, but if you want to see the image, I'll link to the post where the image is posted. But unfortunately, I don't have like a physical one yet. Let me see. And then in the meantime, most of the trails are just woods. It has multiple lakes. Oh, it divides, and one lake is... Oh, that's cool. So it divides the lake, so you're kind of walking in between. Man, kayaking, that'd be cool to canoe that area too, yeah. Well, or kayak. I just like canoes. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I am in the comments. Yeah, a large meetup would be fun. What did William say? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, you have a video from your GoPro? Yeah, I'd love to see some photos. So we have a community page where we've got a lot of photos we need to catch up on, but if you post a photo there, we'll often feature it at the end of like a side video. So actually, if you do post a photo there, let us know if you don't want it to be featured at the end of the video. But yeah, that's something we like to do. We haven't done side videos in a while, but we're getting back on track, and we like to show your little featured pictures. So if you have photos from that, Scott, and you want to share, definitely post that. Apple says, I do have experience making merch like acrylic keychains and enamel pins, etc. and whatnot. So if you're interested, yeah, Apple Kid, definitely like send us a message on Facebook or something. Again, the merchandising thing is something we really need to sit down to figure out. So I'm not promising we'll get into that super soon, but that's something we want to do. And then 1 second. So someone was asking about the patch. Again, I don't have a physical one, but I just posted the link to the post where we showed the mock-up picture of it. Brittany Fracker, why would you want to get rid of them? I'm just kidding, but Devil's Horn. Honestly, I don't know how you would get rid of that. Oh, it's that one. Yeah, I've seen those everywhere. Yeah, the Mutinous Elegans. I've seen those growing everywhere. Honestly, my answer, which you won't enjoy, is that I just say leave them there because I think they look cool. William asks, have I ever found a psychedelic mushroom in the wild? I actually have not. I don't really know how to identify those. I would like to know, just like purely just out of like curiosity. I have heard that like there are some that grow just really obviously in people's potted plants because like they just grow in that sort of soil. But no, I haven't ever. A group hike with patrons would be nice. Yeah, for sure. Well, in that case, maybe we can do that for the winter or something. I don't know. I'll talk to the others about that. Would like my Lake District photos to be shared. That would be nice. Awesome. Yeah. If you haven't posted those, please do, and I will definitely. And again, there's like a bunch of pictures on there that we haven't gotten to, but we are definitely going to start putting those at the ends of videos. It's hard to remove because the mushroom is just the reproducing part. Yeah, that is very true. The mycelium is all underneath, so you'd probably need to put some sort of antifungal stuff. Yeah, that's fair. They probably stink. I mean, you could. Yeah, I don't know. You probably have to look into some sort of antifungal thing to put. You know, are those ones edible? There are some stinkhorns that, believe it or not, are edible. I know Phallus imputicus. No, Phallus reticulatum. Is that what it is? What is that one called? What is imputicus, isn't it? No. Phallus something. No. Indusiatus. Phallus indusiatus is a stinkhorn that is edible. And actually, I have a package of dried ones that I got from the Asian market, and I haven't been brave enough to eat it. But yeah. Peyote. Computer mouse pads with the A logo. Ooh, hey, that's an interesting. That's a good suggestion, DJ. Thank you. Yeah, waterproof bag would be something we could use too. Have you ever eaten a psychedelic mushroom? I'm not going to answer that. Apple Kid says, thank you. I'm trying to draw more landscape art. I really like the mountain tutorial from yesterday, Andrew. Awesome. Yeah, wait. Let me follow you, Apple Kid. Apple Kid. Actually, I don't know which one it is, but I don't know if you posted your. Oh, okay, I don't have to follow you then. But how come someone else was following you? Do they just know you? Yeah, William. It is funny that the genus is called that, but I mean, if you see it, you'll understand why it is called that. Yeah, South, that might be a good idea. Mulch them over. Oh, you've tried all sorts of things. Actually, mulch might just make it easier for them to grow because I've seen those growing out of the mulch. I don't know, Brittany. I just feel like you got to learn to love it. That's. I'm sure someone else would have a better answer than that. But maybe you could put like stones on top of that area, like pebbles or gravel. I don't know if that's an area where you could do that though. I will like the art. Oh, that's really good art. Are you kidding? That looks like Studio Ghibli stuff. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, no, this looks like something out of Animal Crossing or something. That's awesome. You should all follow Apple Kid Art on Instagram. Yeah, I feel like stones would make it harder for them to grow, let alone grow through. Oh, yeah, I was supposed to draw a mushroom. So there's one mushroom. I think my favorite Studio Ghibli movie is probably, I guess, do you want to see the drawing process? But yeah, my favorite Ghibli movie is probably Princess Mononoke. Oh, there we go. I actually, admittedly, have not watched nearly enough. Like, I still need to see Nausicaa. I've only seen bits and pieces of Spirited Away. I think I've seen Howl's Moving Castle. Is that how they grow? It is, right? Yeah. Let me double check this. Yeah, that's. It's more like that. So this is supposed to be the indigo milky, which is a mushroom that I've always wanted to find. It is in the genus Lactiflus, I believe, and it's basically this like pure blue mushroom. And when you cut into it, a blue sap comes out, and it's also edible. And it's just like such a cool looking mushroom, really pretty. Just Google indigo milky. Favorite Police Academy movie? I honestly don't know. William, I actually was a fine arts major for like 1.5 years. I eventually switched to sociology, but I just, as a kid, I used to draw all the time. I actually haven't drawn that much recently. I really want to get back into it though. Apple Kid says, I recently went to live concert for Joe Hisaishi, composer of Ghibli. Oh, Joe Hisaishi is one of our main musical influences. Robbie grew up listening to him, both because of Ghibli and also because of films by this guy named Kitano Takeshi. Uptrail, hello. No worries. I'm glad you could make it. How's it going, Bob? Brittany Fracker says, I'm so jealous. I love Studio Ghibli. Yeah, I would love to see a live concert by Joe Hisaishi because he is one of our like biggest musical influences. Actually, in the latest episode, there's a piano song while we're all sitting under the tarp while it's raining on the second night. That's kind of based on a song from Kikujiro, which is a movie he composes music for. Mononoke and Totoro. Yeah, Totoro is definitely up there. And like, I was watching Totoro recently, and it's amazing because like you look at all the details and you can see all the individual plants that are painted into the background. Like, and like I was able to identify all the species too. Like, there's common plantain growing there. It's really amazing. Nature's eardrum shape. Looks like you could drink wine out of it. Yeah, so that's right. That's why you're saying that. The milky caps are often like vase shaped, and they have like a divot in the cap, so it collects water sometimes. I mean, that's not why they're there, I don't think. Applicant says it was magical. I think there will be more opportunities for Hisaishi concerts in the USA. I hope so. I wonder if Robbie's ever been to one. Jim says Studio Ghibli appears to be a younger generation thing. Yeah, I mean, it's like they're cartoons from Japan, so I think like especially in the US, they're only gaining popularity among like younger people. But Jim, if like honestly, I know it like cartoons usually seem childish, but these are like legitimate, really good films. Princess Mononoke is one of my favorites. It's just like really artistic. Aaron says favorite Final Fantasy game. I admittedly have not played too many of the main ones, so I think like just because of nostalgia, Crystal Chronicles is one of my favorites, even though that's not one of the main ones. Robbie would have a much better answer for that, though. The movie Wolf Children is another great movie. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I still need to see Fern Gully, too. Chris says, I still can't believe how good music is at the start of Manistee. So excited for the soundtrack. Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Actually, I could put the soundtrack up now so that people could buy it or stream it if they want. But you all will receive a free download link for that. Like at the beginning of next month. Well, $10 and up people will. Well, no, everyone will this time, right? Well, actually, I don't know. No, because it wasn't in that link. But I mean, you'll be able to listen to it. I definitely can tell that A's music has Ghibli and Nobuo Uematsu influences. Oh wow, awesome! That's like a huge praise. So thank you. Yeah, some have some very heavy themes. Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, no, I'm not. I didn't assume that's what you're saying, Jim. But Scott says, was the Manistee soundtrack in the download? No, I don't think it was because we didn't have it finished yet. But you know what? I'm just going to publish it, and at the very least, you can all stream it. Because I think it should be final now, yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to publish it. Okay, and here's the link to stream the music from the latest album. There you go. Let me know if that doesn't work. But have you guys seen Mary and the Witch's Flower? I have not. Yeah, Crystal Chronicles, the music in that game is incredible. Uptrail71 says, I was watching an interesting show about wood ticks. I'll send a link to your message. Okay, that'll be useful to know probably. And thank you, Bob. William McKean says, if you like movies with nature, I'd recommend seeing The Revenant. Oh, I have, yeah. I was putting it off for a while because I was worried it was going to be like really stressful to watch. But it's funny. It's like watching that movie made me really want to get out and like rough it. Even though like everyone in that time is having a miserable time, it just looks fun on some level. Jason says, thank you for the download of the A soundtracks. Very generous of you. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the link I did just post, though, is only to stream because I haven't prepared a download link or anything. But yeah. I missed the driving location of the Manistee video. The video started. Yeah. Michael, the reason for that is because we were just like, after 3 road trip videos, we just want to start right in the middle of it all. I need to update some of our episodes, but usually the episodes in the description will have like a little thing talking about how to plan the trip. And so it'll usually have like a link to the trailhead, some of the websites that are helpful. I really need to add the scene selection stuff to our episodes because I keep forgetting to do that. But usually our episodes have like things in the description where you can click and skip to certain parts. But I definitely have not done that for the road trips. Brittany Fracker says, yes, I have, and it was okay. Story seemed to go fast. IMO. Scott Neverdusky said, your download was my work soundtrack today. Oh, awesome. Oh, yeah, speaking of which, if you guys haven't yet, please do check out the post that I made last night. You can just see it on our main page, but the download link for all of our music albums up to the latest or before the latest episode. Please do download that before the 29th because I think it expires then. If people haven't been able to, I'll make sure you guys get it. And I'll post the link again on Wednesday during our weekly update post. Aaron says, Nobu Uematsu influenced the Final Fantasy game music. Yep. William McKean says, you wouldn't be miserable in a state of nature if you had been doing it since childhood. That is true, yeah. Yeah, that's something I think about a lot. It's like you have to get out there and condition yourself and just be used to it. Jim, most of us are in Ohio, but Robby is in Indiana. Steve Miller says, Andrew, I got to say goodbye. Got an early morning, 4 legs standing in St. Louis tomorrow. Wow. Good luck with the earlier morning, Steve. Thank you for joining us. And actually, I might have to, let's end it in like 5 minutes, and let's do a lightning round of yes or no or one-word questions. Before that, though, Matt says, do you guys have any recommendations for starting out learning Japanese? My cousin and my mom would have better answers, but my mom, I know, recently started learning. She just found a local person who was teaching it with classes. But she would probably also suggest, like, there's a YouTube channel on YouTube, obviously. But there's a YouTube channel where someone is teaching Japanese. I need to find that. Don't remember. Okay, yeah, it's Japanese Amo. It's that channel. My mom has been using that. Japanese Amo with Misa. Have a good night, Jim. It was good talking to you as well. Matt, I'm glad you downloaded it, and I hope you enjoy. DJ Lone Star says, video guys might want to like to see. Oh, Alone in the Wilderness. I have seen at least a chunk of that, I think. Yeah, Dick Prenicky. It's incredible. Like, he brings all the tools out without any of the handles, carves the handles themselves, builds a cabin. It's unbelievable. Like, I mean, that's something you have to grow up surrounded by, I feel like, to be able to do that. But it's kind of the dream. Genki textbooks. Wow. Old world scenery or new world scenery? New world, because I feel like, well, that's tough. They're both great. Old world, this is yes or no, so new world. But old world has lots of cool ancient history. New world has lots of cool wilderness. I mean, they both do. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Matt. Have a good one. Good night, Jim. What instruments do I play? Piano, flute. Is that it? I think that's it. Piano and flute. Would you rather be able to time travel or inherit $215 million? If I could time travel, I could probably make that amount pretty easily. So I guess time travel. Vulcan or Klingon? Oh. Vulcan. Like, Klingons seem a lot more fun, but Vulcans, I feel like they just have a better society to live in because they're not constantly killing each other. Hot and humid or cold and windy? Cold and windy, absolutely. I'm still internally freaking out. No, I mean, your art is amazing, so you should definitely not be as humble as you are. Boxers or briefs? The only correct answer is boxer briefs. Hot chocolate or apple cider? Apple cider, I think. Would you rather have superhuman sense of smell or taste? Ooh. Smell would be more useful, but also more inconvenient. I'm going to go taste, because like I have not been in enough situations where I felt like I needed to smell something. Algae or Algonquin? I'm going to say Algonquin. James Bond or Jason Bourne? Oh. James Bond, classic. Good night, DJ Lone Star. Thank you for chatting. And again, we have weekly live streams every week for patrons. Next week, it's going to be one of the other 3 guys. Occasionally, it's all 4 of us or a couple of us. Sometimes me and Brian do it together. So, Canadian beer or American? American, I guess. Noodles or rice? Oh. Rice, noodles. I don't know. It really depends on my mood. I'm bad at giving one-word answers. The Office or Parks and Rec? I'm gonna say Parks and Rec because I've watched more of that, and I did enjoy it. Walmart or Target? I'm gonna go Target. It's just like it's brighter inside. Skunk and dog poop would make the sense of smell. Yeah, that is a very good point. Favorite junk food? Gummy candies, actually. Yeah, I think that's got to be it. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. You sent the link to. Awesome. Thank you, Bob. I will check that out. No, yeah, there is someone in here. It's not a ghost. That's why I'm at someone else's place, because my friend is sick, so I was delivering soup. South says, thanks for streaming. Scott Neverdusky says, I'm going to go Game of Thrones. Lord of the Rings is classic, but Game of Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones. Good night, Michael. Good night, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you so much for joining us. Or me, I guess. Yeah, so this Wednesday, for all the new people, there will be an update post with some interesting tidbits. And then next Monday, there will be another stream. Thank you again so much. And yeah, thanks, Jackie. I'll tell her you said that. Good night.